Lost Thanksgiving Sides Introduction. Welcome back to The Lost Taste. In this special Thanksgiving episode, we're diving deep into 15 African-American side dishes that once graced the holiday table but have slowly disappeared over the decades. These aren't the turkey or the stuffing stars of today. They're the forgotten co-stars, the soulful, flavor-packed companions that once defined Thanksgiving in Black homes across America. These dishes were rich in memory, flavor, and tradition, made from scratch with love, resourcefulness, and patience. But as times changed, with busier schedules, fewer multi-generational kitchens, and shifting food trends, many of these sides faded into history. Today, we're bringing them back. Each dish we'll revisit isn't just a recipe, it's a story of migration, adaptation, and celebration. If you grew up eating any of these, or if you're hearing about them for the first time, let us know in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe to The Lost Taste, and let's reclaim Thanksgiving one bite at a time. Spoonbread. Spoonbread was the elegant cousin to cornbread. Light, fluffy, almost soufflé-like, it had a pudding texture that made it luxurious. Made with cornmeal, milk, butter, and beaten eggs, with whipped whites folded in, it was scooped onto plates and drenched in gravy. But spoonbread required time, technique, and love, something harder to find in today's busy kitchens. With store-bought rolls and jiffy mixes taking over, this once-prized side has all but disappeared. Smothered cabbage, far from being a simple boiled vegetable. Smothered cabbage was a dish of deep flavor. Cut into thick wedges and browned in bacon grease, the cabbage was then covered and slow-simmered for nearly an hour. The result? Sweet, savory, caramelized perfection. Modern cooks now prefer quick sautés, leaving this labor-intensive masterpiece behind. Cracklin' bread. Cracklin' bread was holiday luxury. Cornbread made with buttermilk and studded with pork cracklins, the crispy, salty pieces left after rendering lard. Each bite offered crunch, salt, and soul. But as home rendering fell out of practice and fresh cracklins became hard to find, this delicacy faded from the Thanksgiving table. Pickled peaches. A southern tradition that added brightness to the Thanksgiving spread. Summer's peaches, preserved in vinegar, sugar, and warm spices, were chilled and served as a tangy sweet counterpoint to rich dishes like dressing and gravy. But home canning is a lost art, and most people now reach for cranberry sauce instead. Buttered rice. Before mac and cheese reigned supreme, buttered rice was the go-to base for gravy. Plain white rice, fluffed and topped with a pat of butter and cracked black pepper, was simple, comforting, and perfect for soaking up juices. But as Thanksgiving became more elaborate, this humble side was deemed too plain and disappeared. Lime, congealed. Salad, an icon of mid-century potlucks. Lime jello mixed with celery, grated carrots, cream cheese, and sometimes nuts. Molded into rings or poured into loaf pans, it was chilled and sliced into a sweet savory side. While nostalgic, today's diners find the idea of savory gelatin off-putting, and it's now mostly remembered through vintage cookbooks. Scratch-made creamed corn, nothing like the canned version. Fresh or frozen corn was simmered gently, with the milk scraped from the cob adding creaminess. Butter, salt, and pepper brought it to life. It was silky, sweet, and thickened only by its own starch. But with the rise of canned creamed corn thickened with gums, the original fell by the wayside. Stovetop candied yams. Before casserole dishes became the norm, sweet potatoes were peeled, sliced, and gently simmered in a skillet with butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg until syrupy. This slow, stovetop method created a rich, sticky glaze that clung to every bite. But convenience won, and now most opt for oven-baked casseroles topped with marshmallows. Biscuits with sorghum butter. Not just any biscuit, these were layered, fluffy, and made with lard or cold butter. What made them shine was the sorghum butter, whipped butter mixed with dark sorghum syrup. Earthy, sweet, and deeply southern. As sorghum faded from kitchens, replaced by corn syrup, this side went with it, Hoppin' John. Though associated with New Year's, many families served black-eyed peas and rice at Thanksgiving, cooked with onion, garlic, and smoked turkey or bacon. It was hearty and symbolic, representing luck and prosperity. As dressings, mac and cheese, and other sides gained dominance, Hoppin' John was reserved for January. Creamed pearl onions, tiny pearl onions, painstakingly peeled, cooked tender, and folded into a velvety bechamel sauce with a hint of nutmeg. Served as a side in the 1950s-70s, they brought elegance and subtlety. But the work involved in peeling and the shift toward bold flavors made this side a relic. Simple stewed. Okra before frying took over. Okra was often stewed gently with fatback or smoked meat. It was soft, slick, and deeply flavored, appreciated for its slimy texture that thickened the pot. Today, few embrace that texture, and stewed okra has all but disappeared. Chicken liver and onion. Gravy. This wasn't the gravy from turkey drippings. This was a separate dish. Chicken livers and gizzards were boiled, chopped, and then sautéed with onions in fat to create a rich gravy. Served over rice or biscuits, it was packed with iron and depth. With the singular focus on turkey gravy, this one is nearly forgotten. Sassafras tea. Long before soda or Kool-Aid, many southern black families foraged sassafras roots and brewed them into tea. It was fragrant, reddish, and slightly sweet, tasting like root beer. But as packaged drinks became the norm, the practice of digging and steeping roots vanished. Homemade pepper sauce. This wasn't hot sauce from a bottle. It was a mason jar of white vinegar stuffed with homegrown hot peppers, left to steep on the windowsill for weeks. A few dashes transformed greens, beans, and cornbread. Today, many reach for Tabasco or Texas, peat instead, and the old vinegar jar is gone. Conclusion: these 15 dishes weren't just sides, they were edible history. Each one tells a story of ingenuity, tradition, and love passed down through generations. While some have been forgotten, they're not lost forever. We can bring them back, one holiday at a time. Ask your elders, dig through those church cookbooks, and experiment in your own kitchen. If this list stirred a memory or sparked curiosity, tell us in the comments which side dish deserves a comeback. Subscribe to The Lost Taste for more deep dives into forgotten recipes. And don't forget, this is an educational video, not a substitute for health advice. We'll see you next time with another plate of the past, served hot and full of soul.